morning.
Why? Why is it a bad
morning? Good morning.
Good morning. Jay, you've been on this Ja Morant thing. And, me too. And, oh, my God.
I don't want people to buy stock yet. Don't buy stock. I'm crazy. I'm out of my mind. I'm wrong. Keep telling me that.
Dude, let me tell you something. I said he might be finals MVP.
Yeah, me too. I said he might be finals MVP.
Because
you just said it right now.
This is one of those years where you just can't count anyone out. There are lots of injuries to key players. Some teams underperforming. You just don't know. And the Grizzlies are good. And Ja is one of those guys where, they come around every so often where you're like, we were talking about Derrick Rose before, obviously MJ when he came up, Iverson. There's some athletes where when you're watching them when they're young coming into their own, you just know you're never going to forget it. You'll tell your grandkids about it. Ja's one of those dudes.
He's a 2022 version of AI. I played against AI. I've seen how fast AI goes. Now, there's interesting similarities here. So AI 6 feet, 6'1", 175. Ja 6'2.5". 175. He has D Rose type of athletic ability. So D Rose is more like Russell Westbrook to me, that herky-jerky, quick bounce type of athletic ability.
Fast twitchy.
So smooth that out a little bit. It's like when you get a wine and you first take let that wine sit in a decanter for a minute. Let that smooth out for a minute. And that's more that R&B rhythm to Ja's athletic ability. But he scores like AI, and he's shooting the ball better. That's always been the one knock on him, that he hasn't been able to shoot the rock. But now he's shooting the ball with confidence.
35% from three, give or take.
98 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
Very under control when you mention Westbrook. His game is under control. He's not out of control, so to speak. And a lot like AI, I think he has a little more explosiveness than AI. But sort of that same stuff. He got a little bit of Kyrie in him in terms of how he handles the ball. I mean, he's going to be talked about for a while. If he continues on this trend, he's going to be talked about for a while. And he's one of since I've been able to watch basketball and understand it at the professional level, he's probably one of 4 small guards that I look to and say, oh, he took over the game.
Different.
You know what I'm saying? Different. He took over the game.
But you know what he can do that no one's done at that size? There's never really been a dude 6'3" or under who you looked at and said, that's the best player in basketball, right? Ja has a chance.
AI was really,
but AI was the best player. He did win MVP.
He won MVP one year, but there was if you were to say who's the best player in basketball, you'd have said Shaq or you'd have said Kobe.
I don't know that year though, Max.
I'm saying I'm not talking
about
look. Dirk Nowitzki was MVP too 1 year. I'm talking about year in and year out. That's the best player in the world. Not he hit a peak 1 year where he had this kind. You could argue. I'm saying that AI was never that dude.
He has to not get hurt.
I don't know about that one, though.
You taking AI over Kobe or Shaq?
AI back then, but that's the problem. AI back then was up against Kobe, Shaq,
aliens,
young
man.
Michael Jordan. He was up against, old Michael Jordan. He was up against T-Mac, just tons and tons of players.
This dude is, look at the league now. It's super talented.
So here's my thing.
Saying, I don't think, and you can speak to this, Jay, I don't think the league right now, because guys have been hurt, is the same this year
they've been hurt.
As when AI won his MVP. I don't think so.
Well, what the hell is Joel Embiid doing?
Thank you.
What's Jokic doing?
Thank you, Giannis.
What's Giannis doing?
These are giants.
So, and Ja's in that conversation. All I'm saying is from somebody who is 6'2", barely, who played in the NBA. I would consider myself to be an alien amongst normal people because my hand-eye coordination, my quick twitch fibers. You get there, though, it's not until you see it. We'll get into my top 5 most blockbuster players in the league. But I got one guy on there, Greek Freak, and you guys, people at home, are like, oh, he's not. But when you see it, when you sit courtside, you're like, God damn, what the hell? He can go gadget arm like that through traffic, and he can take 2 steps from half court, and he's at the rim flushing it.
Well, that's all.
It don't make sense, man.
In sports, you don't appreciate it until you actually see it.
You
watch watching television, and until you go see it, like you said, Jay, you 6 feet, and you wind up playing against 7-footers and dominating at the level you dominated. That's something different.
Exactly.
Regardless if things happen the way it did, in your career to be your size and be the number 2 pick in the draft, it ain't just because they like you.
Like, I want to ask you, Keith, who out of all the wide receivers you've seen play had the best body control?
Oh,
the
body
best
control?
body control. Because I know, like,
Other than me? No.
other than yourself, yes.
Like Chris Carter had body control.
What made you see that? Like, what were examples of that?
Just he could torque his body in different ways to go get the football. It wasn't just they say, oh, he got great hands, but his hands, his body allowed him to turn a certain way to use those hands. Randy Moss. Randy Moss was another one.
The reason why I asked because I think Ja Morant, the younger guards, probably has the best body control I've seen in the game of basketball for a long time. Like, he always is on balance. Like, he's doing these like that move he had in Chicago where he did the 180 lay-in. He came down on 2 feet. It wasn't like he was off balance.
Or even just to catch and shoot at the end of the half. The reason he was able to do that is because he's so balanced, even as he's jumping.
Well, he still had the goose.
So it's like a gymnast. Like, always, like, that body control is so different.
Can I tell you who he reminds me of the most? And first of all, I do think he has the chance to do the following, which no one his size has ever done. I think he has a chance to be the best player in basketball. Not just stick his head up one year where you could argue it, but be the best player in basketball. And 2, be the best player on a perennial contender that wins championships. No one his size has ever done those 2 things together. But here's the guy who he reminds me of, Jay Key. He reminds me of young Jordan. And the reason is he is doing things in the breathe, right?
Yes.
He's got the R&B or a little smoothed out. When he goes up into the air, he is able to step on the air to get another level, like as though the air has friction like the ground. When he goes up, he stays up and glides, man. I don't understand it.
That's just something he does, I guess. I mean, certain people know how to control their body, like Jay said. And you, believe it or not, Max, you can control your body when you're in the air. You can control I know it sounds weird, but when you're in the air, for whatever weird reason, you can control your body to a degree and not come straight down.
That's crazy, man.
I'm going to tell y'all, the dunk he had last night on Jakob Portal.
Jakob Portal moved out the way the second time.
Jakob is 7 feet tall. He's 7 feet. And I've never had, I tried to dunk on Yao Ming one time and I was unsuccessful, but I almost had it though. I was close, but Yao Ming 7'6", 7'6". Think about what I'm saying. I almost had Yao Ming and people start laughing. And he is 7'6", and y'all laughing at it.
But the reason I'm laughing because I'm looking at you.
Exactly.
I'm just looking at your frame and your body. Dude is like twice your size.
Jakob went up and was like, I got this. Look, that's a casual 7-footer going like, come here, little dude. And got yammed on. And got a knee in his chest.
Hopefully they took a good shot to whoever the cameraman was sitting on the floor. They got a good shot of that.
Lord, we got to go to break. I'm just
that's
saying,
a poster.
This is what you're seeing is something different, people. It's very different.
There's not an athlete in sports to me anywhere that I would rather watch than Ja Morant. I think he's number 1. When you talk about the whole sports landscape, he is guaranteed.
Maybe Lamar
oh, my
Jackson.
God.
Maybe Lamar Jackson, Patrick
Lamar's
Mahomes.
up there, but I love both those guys. For me right now, when a basketball player can do that, to me, that's there's nothing I'd rather watch. It's insane. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max is presented by Progressive Insurance. Ja's not the only one working overtime on Monday night, next on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
The reality is very simple. Major League Baseball has an incredible economic system for the owners.